Hello folks, welcome to day 48, the 17th of February. Progress much better today, but I have been a bit inspired by my week of holiday as to what I want to talk about on the blogs, on the vlogs even for the next few days. So an old drum teacher of mine used an expression which was limitation breeds creation, which I've always been very interested in and have had various discussions about with musician friends of mine. And we can argue both sides of it until the cows come home. But obviously this week, as I mentioned yesterday, I am quite limited for a number of reasons, mostly because I've got a wonderful family that I need to spend time with. So I thought each day today, this week, I'd talk a little bit about limitation, different kinds of limitation to creativity, and maybe how I deal with them. The first and most obvious one for today being time. I am spending maybe 2 to 3 hours less time on my creation each day this week than I normally would be. So it's quite a big chunk out of my time. And there were three particular things that I've kind of taken away from how I've worked today and how I've still managed to feel creative and get my kind of work done. And I thought I'd just share them. So the first one was to decide the bare minimum and absolutely stick at it. I know what I am willing to accept and be happy with in terms of creativity during the day. And so I stick with that regardless of how tired I am or how much work it is. As long as it's a minimum that I am truly happy with, I stick to that bare minimum. The second one is for me about only doing the essentials. So obviously every day I write and I edit, but then I also do a whole bunch of other things. I respond to emails, I do various social media things, I do review requests, lots of different bits and bobs. And this week those things are going to take a bit more of a back seat. They're not essential, they're not creativity, they're not getting my sort of juices flowing in terms of the stuff that I really love doing. So they're going on the back burner. They're being done, but just not to the same extent that they normally would be doing. I figured out what the essentials are, and so in those little chunks of time I get, I'm making sure I just do the essentials, not getting distracted. The third thing I've been working on is planning in my downtime. I haven't got a lot of downtime during the day. I'm constantly playing with two very small people and talking to wifey and helping wifey out in the other bits. But every now and then I get a little bit of downtime, 5 or 10 minutes, where there's a moment of peace and quiet. And I'm using that time to really figure out exactly what it is I want to be creating when I get the chance to sit down and create it. So whether it's plotting the next scene in my head, whether it's thinking of the large picture of the book, whether it's thinking about my editing, where I know I'm going next with it, the particular things I want to find in it today, and if I need to put them in if they're not there. So whatever it may be, I'm using those little moments of downtime where I can't actually sit and create, but where I can get useful stuff done. So they're my three ways of dealing with the limitation of time. Progress for today is pretty good actually, 4,300 words written and 4,900 words edited, which I'm quite chuffed with. Quote for today comes from Jean-Paul Sartre and is, "Poetry creates the myth. The prose writer draws its portrait." I like that. So thank you folks, I hope you've all had a lovely Tuesday and I shall see you tomorrow. Cheers!